Welcome back, and so this is part 2. We're going to do how to create a natural scalp on a lace closure. This video is going to show you how to get your closure from looking like this and turn it into this. So we're going to create a scalp. And we're going to use a closure that we did in the first video, which was bleaching the knots in your part. And this is the same closure, and as you can see the grids in the lace. There are a couple little knots still there. They're not too visible, but we also want to conceal those as well. So we're going to work with this particular closure, and what I'm going to do with this closure is I'm going to flip it upside down, and we're going to work on the underside of the closure on the lace. So let's get started. So here's the underside of the closure, and what I'm using is a concealer brush. You can use any kind of brush that will apply concealer, and I'm using a cream concealer in the shade that matches my skin tone. And so I'm going to take some of the concealer onto the brush, and what I'm doing is I'm applying the concealer to the lace on the underside of the closure. And what you can do if this is your first time doing this, if you're just wearing one part, then you can apply the concealer just where the part is. You can see I have the hair parted on the top of the closure, and you can just put your finger into that part and apply the concealer where that part is and a little outside of the part. You want to be able to also have the concealer on the knots that are next to that part. If you want to do a larger area with multiple parts, then you can do a larger area like I am in this video. And when you're applying the concealer, as you can see, I'm pushing it in, I'm rubbing it in fairly hard onto the lace because I want it to be able to push through a little bit onto the other side of the closure. I'm also applying the concealer on the edge of the lace and all the way around to the back of the closure, just because I want to make sure that I have ample parting options. And so you can see the top of the lace after applying the concealer. Some of those knots are already covered up. You can stop at this point or you can keep going. For those of you that want to continue with this process, we're going to move on and start with our protective shield. You can find this at any beauty supply store, or you can use another product called Gro Protect or any other similar products that are used for protecting your hair while wearing a quick weave. So you can see I'm applying the protective shield on the underside of the lace where I apply the concealer, and I'm using the same concealer brush to spread this protective shield all over the lace. I'm making sure to spread it gently with a light hand because I don't want to push this product through onto the other side of the lace. I just want to coat the underside. It's very important that you don't push it through onto the other side of the lace, and I'm taking care to fully coat the areas where I have applied the concealer. You know, on your first coating you may see some holes in the lace that you're not able to cover, and that's perfectly fine. Don't stress on covering those holes because you may end up pushing that product onto the other side of the lace. If you have any hair that gets caught up in the protective shield, make sure you remove it while it is still wet. Those are the holes that I was talking about. You can dab to try to cover them, but like I said, don't worry too much about covering them on this try. I also did not apply this product to the edge of the lace. This is important if you're doing more than one coat. Don't apply it to the edge. And as you can see, while it's still wet, this is what it looks like on the top of the closure. We're starting to create our scalp. You can stop at this point if you like, and if you do, make sure you allow this to dry thoroughly and completely. I like to let it dry overnight before you wear it. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it looks like scalp. You can't see the grids anymore. It's a little shiny, but that's just because it's still wet. So if you would like to continue on to the next step, please continue watching. After we've let this dry completely, I'm going to go ahead and apply another layer of that protective shield. I'm doing this to cover the rest of those holes, and it's also going to allow this to last a bit longer on the closure. So I'm applying a little more of the protective shield, not as much as I did on the first layer, just a little. And I'm just going to go over the whole area where the concealer is one more time, lightly, ensuring that I don't push it through onto the other side of the lace. And I'm taking care to make sure I get those spots where the holes were. And as you can see, this time we're getting those holes covered up very, very well. And you can also allow it to dry a little and then go back and spread it a little more over the holes to cover them. And now on this application, I'm applying a little of the protective shield to the edge of the lace. You do not have to do this if you're concerned about blending the edge of the lace, or if you do want to use adhesive. And you don't have to apply anything to the edge. I applied the protective shield to the edge of the lace because it allows me to have better blending with my scalp, and it also allows me an adhesive to keep the closure down when I want it to, and I'll show you that a little later in this video. So once I've applied this last coating of the protective shield, I'm going to allow this to dry overnight and make sure it's completely dry. And once it's dry, if you want this to last a bit longer, you can spray a sealant on it. I use Patricia Nimrock matte acrylic spray, and I use that to seal the closure, but this is also an optional step. Okay, so after all of that, then this is what we have. And this is what the inside looks like. When you hear it, it sounds really hard, but I'm going to show you what it's really looking like right now. Now, if you use the right color concealer, it should match. My issue is I've been wearing my hair under a scarf for a couple of weeks, so my scalp has gotten lighter. And if you want to, you can go back over your part on the top with your concealer, and I use the angled liner brush. And just go over your part like so. And some people like to go onto their scalp with the concealer. My only issue with that is a lot of times people do it and they don't blend it out, and so there's a line. You wanna, if you do that, you need to blend it out, okay? So you don't look crazy and everybody's not like, why does she have concealer? Why does she have this like white line going straight down? Yeah. So you just wanna blend it out. See, I have a piece of hair coming out from under my closure, which is why you can see the little black line. I'll try to see if I can tuck it back up under there. So, if you're able to get a perfect match on your concealer, then this line will not be an issue. If you are not, what I do is wet my concealer brush, or my brush, and just dab the brush along that crease. And you can just take the opposite end of your brush and hold it there for just a second, press down. You don't need to press it for too long, just press it in. And there. Voila. And for those who are asking, this is a Glamour House of Hair closure, lace closure, and the texture is blowout. Even though this isn't a weft or a wig video, these are the Radiance wefts from Glamour House of Hair. and this is on a Perfection Redefined Bossy wig. So yeah. I hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions, because I know this can be tricky the first couple of times you do it. So I do recommend, if you try this part of the natural part method, which is outside of just the non-bleaching, if you actually do this part from part 2, I suggest you try it on a small part of your closure first, like just one part. Don't try to do a whole bunch of sections. Just try one part first to see how you like it. Don't add the sealer, and just go over it one time with the protective shield stuff. And as I mentioned before, as far as the lip, if you're wearing your closure at the hairline, where you're scared about the edge of it being too hard, then don't apply the shield to the edge of your lace. Leave a little tiny strip where you don't apply it, so you have a little bit of lace left at the edge. But I put it all the way to the edge just because my edges are really, really thin. As you can see, I don't really have much here, so I can't cover any kind of lace. So what I have to do is apply it there so I can dab the water on there and get it to stay down. So I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. And really quick, while you check out these photos, I just want to mention that if you do not use the sealant on the underside of your closure, then this will wash out with water. It may take a few washes with your shampoo, but it will wash off of the closure. If you use the acrylic sealant or other types of sealant, then it will last longer, and you can wash your hair or get wet with this on the underside of your closure without having to worry about it washing away. So I just wanted to give you that tidbit of information. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video was helpful, and I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye.